Okay. So this is... Fuck it.
Special 5-year anniversary for a personal journey of mine. If it was alcoholism, I'd be getting a chip for this achievement right now, but I'm receiving a very different kind of gift for it. First, I need to ask, though, what have you done for 5 years straight with unwavering discipline and gusto?
Jerk off.
Viewing? Maybe? Yeah, and what do you have to show for it, tough guy? You still got that soft chin. What about jelking? You a big jelker? Spent the last 5 years in the laboratory desperately trying to put a few inches on that pathetic little meat of yours?
Hey, man, baby.
Well, what if I told you that 5 years could have been better spent doing what I was doing? Watching One Piece from start to current. Over 1,100 episodes. Please, hold your applause, I'm no hero. I just did what I thought needed to be done to finally stop getting bombarded with the question of why I didn't like One Piece. I started this journey 5 years ago, which feels like the blink of an eye now in the grand scheme of my One Piece journey, because I had tried numerous times to get into it and just never fell in love with it. But every time I would stream, I'd always be getting the question about, what's wrong with you, Charles? You gotta screw loose to not like One Piece. So I started it out of spite, and I gotta tell you, sports fans, the first year or so of that journey, for the first, 200 to 300 episodes, were brutal. Trying to stay awake watching those arcs was a more difficult boss battle than trying to kick a heroin addiction. It was tough. But I pushed through, I persisted, and I've been giving you steady updates like once a year since, because after about 300 episodes, I did fall in love with One Piece. Experts may call it Stockholm Syndrome. I call it just objective improvements in the show itself. And I understand in the manga, everyone always says this, the pacing for the earlier arcs is just significantly better in the manga as opposed to the anime. And I imagine they're probably right, but I'd committed to watching the show.
Hold on, did you watch filler 2 or no?
And I think once we start getting into Water 7 territory, the show really hits its stride, and it maintains that. The show does get a drastic improvement not only in animation, but in pacing, and I genuinely think everything in it starts to elevate. So I'm extremely happy I did push through and catch up with the show, because it is extraordinary. So now that I'm caught up, I'm just going to give you all of my thoughts, kind of like as a all-encompassing debriefing. Because, like I said, I've been giving you yearly-ish updates on my One Piece progress. But I just want to put a nice little bow on all my thoughts on One Piece as a whole. And I guess I'll get into the nitty-gritty here, the spaghetti and meatballs of Egghead specifically, since that's obviously the most recent arc.
He used One Piece? He used One Piece? He skipped Skype here. Shameful. Shameful, bro. Shameful. So he committed, but he's semi-committed. He's not someone that's actually someone. Okay, you know what it is? He's not a normie. He's fuck me. Casual? No, I don't know. I don't know how you'd say this exactly, but I guess One Piece. Because you're missing out on content and moments with the characters that the anime adds. Actually, pretty good moments, honestly. As long as you watch the filler, you're fine. Though I would say actually watch the G6 filler. That filler's actually fucking phenomenal. But he was kidding? All right, good. All right, good. Chat, fuck you. All right, good.
But anyway, overall, I love One Piece, like I said. I think the show offers some extremely high highs, but with that comes some lows as well. Right. In particular, Fishman Island. That is my least favorite arc in the entire series. I hated that. That was a slog to get through, and I found so little to like about Fishman Island. And I know I've yapped quite a bit about my disdain for that arc, and I'm not going to go too deep into it here, but just know that shit is poop. I do not like the green eggs and ham of Fishman Island.
No, valid.
But
very valid.
My favorite arcs are as followed, in this order.
Fishman Island does have a lot to offer. I won't deny that. It does a lot to offer. But at the same time, I feel like the negatives of the arc, the pace, the Sanji nosebleeds, the really, really piss poor villain. There are a few things in the arc I think are very, very bad. It does some pretty good things for, let's say, the story in terms of theories and world building, and then dive into certain dive into certain elements and aspects of tension, race-related issues, all kind of stuff. Don't be wrong, but what you're talking about, how execution matters a lot. There you go. I finally said it. Execution matters a lot. And I feel like in this arc, it's for sure poorly executed on a host of fronts.
My favorite arc is Marineford, followed
I can understand that.
by Innie's Lobby, followed by Dressrosa. And the more thought I put into it, the harder it became to choose what are my definitive favorite.
As an anime watcher, Dressrosa? How does he withstand that slog? But
arcs, because there are some turbo bangers in here. So it's always been a bit fluid, but the one that's never changed as my favorite arc is Marineford. That one's pretty unbeatable, but the rest have kind of moved here and there, ebbed and flowed.
Wait, I thought you guys said that he was actually throwing the One Piece shit.
And I know Dressrosa in particular is a bit of a contentious pick to be in my top 3 arcs.
Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's sell this now. Did he or did he not watch? Oh, he told Skypiea. Oh, so he actually did watch One Piece. Okay. I think watching One Piece is not the way to go. I think you have to watch the original always, forever and always. That's what I would say. But as someone who's a diehard One Piece fan that has been through it since 2000 and since the 4Kids dub, right? It is irksome. I'm gonna say that at least. I think, fuck that shit. I think it's lame. I think it's stupid as hell. I think it's fucking dumb to watch One Piece. I'm gonna keep it a stack. All right. I don't care if it's oh shit, you have to read all of Hajime no Ippo. I'm not gonna. I'm reading that shit, nigga. I'm reading that shit through and through. I think that if you're going to commit, you fucking commit. You don't half-ass commit, right? At least he didn't skip arcs. That's all I'll say. At least he didn't skip arcs, or the fucking ghouls that just read the One Piece Wikipedia and then they try and catch up based on the fucking Wikipedia summaries of episodes. Fucking ghouls, all right? Y'all be some actual demons. Fucking ugh. But I think watching One Piece, you do miss out on moments of the anime ads. They're actually pretty good moments. I'm not gonna cap with you. Yeah, fillers are fillers. But again, you should probably watch G8 filler because it's actually pretty damn good filler. 1. 2, in terms, let's say, the pace of the overall show, I think it's faster, but it's kind of worse when you go through one pace. It actually is worse, I think, because the show is designed for its slow pace, and a lot of the moments and the events, the build and the tension that's there that you do get is gone because you're just kind of rolling through it. But he said he liked it. He said he enjoyed it. Fair enough, fine. But I feel like it's better off when you get that slow tension sometimes when they're doing their stare-offs like Dragon Ball Z fashion, right? Like in Dragon Ball Z, that wasn't a problem. So why is it a problem with One Piece? Because it's too long. Well, okay, are we going to commit for 5 years? Then commit, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's honestly not a good idea to watch One Piece. I understand why people do it, because they want to expedite their experience. But at the same time, if you're going to commit to 1,000+ episodes, why the fuck are you trying to even do that in the first place? Like, expedite it. Just commit. Skip feel friend fine, but just commit. Just commit. So I don't agree with that. I really don't. Either way. Because I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, yeah, like you should watch One Piece. Fuck that. No, hell no.
Worth noting, I watched One Piece.
Oh, my goodness. Just cover that.
So it cut out a lot of filler, which Dressrosa was apparently famous for. I
Yes.
didn't get that experience. I
You did
got
not.
just a really high quality, very compelling arc that I loved from start to finish. So maybe my Dressrosa experience was very different than
Fuck, it's hard to call him a One Piece fan. We watch One Piece. Because it should be like, okay, I'm gonna give you my top 10 favorite One Piece arcs. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're not. Like, it feels like you're masquerading. It's like it's like a ball gala where people have all the extravagant masks on their face and everyone looks fancy as fuck. But in reality, nigga, you poor. Everyone here has money as fuck, but you broke as fuck. You just got in because you knew somebody that knew somebody, you know? Or maybe not poor, but like you're middle class, sir. You don't belong here with the Great Gatsby and all the high ballers and rollers. Oh my god. No, he's a middle class One Piece fan. You know what I'm saying, bro? He's not up and up. He is, but he's not.
Normal anime watcher's experience if they watched all the filler and stuff. One Piece did an extraordinary job of keeping everything flowing, keeping it moving, and it was great. I really, really liked that arc, but I don't think anything will probably ever beat Marineford. I mean, I guess I can't say for sure because I don't know where One Piece is going to go, but Marineford was just the culmination of...
We have to suffer like we did. I'm of the mindset that honestly, like, there are moments where it backfires, true. And just also backfires a lot. But on Whole Cake Island, at Marineford, in Skypiea, I think, in NES Lobby, I think in Impel Down, in Shimoga Archipelago, I think a lot of the added fillers, I mean, a lot of that content that the anime has is actually pretty good. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Everything that had been building for so long in an extreme...
It's not perfect, but it's not perfect, of course not, but a lot of the content's still pretty good.
Satisfying and emotional arc. This arc also opened my third eye to a painful revelation that I may not know what the One Piece is yet, but I do know what the one truth is.
He was kind of cooking, then he stopped cooking, and now all of a sudden he turned the broiler on and he's cooking savagely.
That Mihawk is a fraud. Mihawk clashed briefly with Vista in the Marineford arc, and it became abundantly clear that this man might just not be the world's greatest swordsman. Maybe he's like King from One Punch Man, where everyone just perceives him as this unbeatable, indomitable force of...
Yo, comparing Mihawk to King from One Punch Man is diabolical. That shit is actually insane. You comparing Homeboy to King. King who has no power. Mihawk has no power? What? Like a demon in the church? You have no power here? We rebuke you? What? Wait a second. Excuse me?
Nature, but in reality, he's just not. We haven't seen Mihawk do a single fucking thing since he clashed with Zoro at the Baratie like 20 years ago. Like, it is so sad. Like, it is actually is so sad. He just gets by on aura and aura alone.
Aura's pretty fucking important.
Swordsman, for the longest time throughout this series, my favorite character was Zoro. But now that I'm finally caught up,
okay,
it's still Zoro.
It was
Zoro. Then and it is now.
It's still Zoro. Here's the thing. All right. I don't see... For favorite characters part, if your favorite character was a certain character at the beginning, it'd probably be the same thing throughout the entire story. I don't see that necessarily changing unless there's a new character that comes out that really captivates you in some way. That's the first thing. Second thing is that on the point of the Mihawk thing, is Mihawk actually a fraud? He's not a fucking fraud. He's obviously not a fraud. The problem is that people put him in camps where he doesn't belong. That's the problem. The problem is that people want Mihawk to be like essentially Mamoru Uchiha in Naruto. But he's not Mamoru Uchiha. He's not even fucking close, okay? He's a really, really, really like he's a top tier Akatsuki, but he's not fucking Madara. He's not on that level. Like, slow the fucking down, dude. Like, slow your roll. That's the problem. The problem is that people don't understand. People want one thing from Mihawk, and Oda is like, you're wrong. Mihawk is not even in the double page spread at the end of 1121 when Oda shows you the major players of the final saga moving forward. He's not even on that fucking page. Mihawk, and I disagree with what he said too about, let's say he hasn't done shit. He has done shit. He has a compendium of feats at Marineford, but for some reason people say they don't count, which makes no fucking sense to me. It's some weird shit. It's like him cutting or trying to cut through Whitebeard. That's a fucking feat. Him cutting through the ice, that's a fucking feat. Like those things fucking, even S-Hawk shit, you can give to Mihawk. That's a fucking feat too. These things do matter. All right, like he's strong as fuck. He's done things in the story. Obviously, he has, without question. But he has more to show. Duh. He has way more to show. Obviously, that's undeniable too, without question. It's that he's a fraud only in terms of how the fans perceive, or how some fans perceive Mihawk. Is he really a fraud? No. But the fans, it's like, you know what it is? It's like Anthony Edwards in the NBA. Ant-Man is fire as fuck, right? Ant-Man is a really damn good player. He has the potential to be a NBA champion for damn sure, without question, all right? But he's not fucking Michael Jordan. Duh. He ain't Mike. He looks like Mike. Sometimes he plays like Mike, but he ain't Mike. He ain't Mike. All right? He's not. So I can understand why it's calling him a fraud. But it's not Mihawk's fault per se. It's the fans' fault. That's what I think, at least.
People like.
So to be fair, I guess he's just saying from his own. I don't know how One Piece did their shit. I have no idea, because like there is a moment where like he's fighting against Vista, where they add the anime, where Vista does the Rose Rondo, then he cuts the shit apart in the anime. But that's anime specific. That's not actually in the manga. So I'm guessing they cut that part out in the One Piece. You know, like they have extra fight content with Mihawk and Marineford. But I'm guessing they actually cut that shit out in One Piece, which is like kind of fucking dumb, but whatever. You may not even have Red Skull's hockey. Just no, I think it's Red Skull hockey at this point in time.
I like to boil him down to just being like a very one-dimensional flat character, but
One Piece is manga pure. Well, yeah, but again, like in terms of like doing things per se, he did do more in the anime in Marineford. Slightly more, but he did do more.
Just think that they're not watching the same show. That's so disingenuous. I can recognize that his motivations and a lot of the
Vista's strong. You know what? I need to do a video on Vista, bro, because Vista's actually really fucking strong. It's just that I don't know where to put him, because like it's hard to really gauge like characters like Vista in terms of power. But if you want to say Vista's like as strong, I want to go as far as he's like as strong as Queen the Plague, but he could be. Or let's say, or King of the Wildfire. I mean, I want to say he's that strong. No.
The side quests,
Katakuri, fuck that.
we'll call them, that he goes on are simpler than the rest of the crew, but that doesn't mean that he lacks as much depth as they have. I think Zoro is a perfect character to contrast the rest of the crew, and I always appreciate where he ends up throughout the arcs.
Oda himself said before that he needed, or a character like Zoro is a necessity character. The way he operates, his badassery, he is a deep character too. At least he was a deep character. He started kind of being deep, I think, at the beginning of the time skip, really. But Zoro is a character that is necessary. You need that Kenpachi-like character in a story like One Piece. You do need it for sure. Because Zoro's dynamic used to be a lot broader back in the day. Like he could be in certain comedy pretty damn well. He could be deep and emotional. Also had his very good moments too. Also was a badass as well, right? But now it feels like he feels so badass heavy now, right? Like he's so close to the Kenpachi of Bleach. He's so badass heavy. It's crazy. And it feels like Oda, considering how a lot of the story right now One Piece is shifting towards comedy. Because think about it, right? Zoro is a badass fucking strong jaw Muir, right? He's essentially Kagurabachi. But the main character is WB funded. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Like, that's the main character. The contrast between Luffy and Zoro is insane. Zoro, mog you down. Stare. Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 dun, dun. That's Zoro. Meanwhile, Luffy. Like, what the fuck? So, and also too, the fact that Zoro's backstory was revealed in SBS is fucking crazy. Not backstory, his family lineage is still, to me, crazy as fuck. Like, damn, Oda, really? Actually, it's in the fucking SBS? Yeesh.
My favorite villain is Doflamingo, but
okay.
My most slept-on superstar is Magellan. I'm somewhat of a Magellan maniac. I believe that if that man could get off the toilet for even just an additional 3 or so hours and they'd let him spread his fucking wings outside of his prison.
Or his booty cheeks.
That man could be an actual threat.
Wait, not no Diddy, because he's just on toilet, you know what I'm saying? Okay, it was a toilet seat joke, not a Diddy joke.
Now, of course, it's just pure delusion and hopium to believe that we might see him again engaging.
There are people that do say that Magellan's Admiral level. They believe that he's actually Admiral level. I'm not against it, but I need to see something. I need to see more.
In the overall plot of One Piece, I think his role is kaput. He himself is a prisoner of the shitter, and he will probably never leave Impel Down. But I think if he ever did, he would genuinely be an extremely powerful character, even in like the current landscape of things. My most controversial take on One Piece is that Sabo is genuinely a fanfic character that you have to suspend disbelief in order to accept his presence in this series.
It's fair, but at the same time, I think he's a good fanfic character. Like, I mean, Sabo, I think, only enhances the story. He doesn't, like, make it worse.
Like, the more and more I think about Sabo, the less and less sense it makes for him to even be here. Just this secret third brother that just happens to pop up out of nowhere, and somehow he is the well-known second in command of the Revolutionary Army, a world-famous group, and yet somehow Ace, who himself is extremely notorious and high-ranking in the Whitebeard Pirates, never knew Sabo was alive? Was Ace illiterate? Maybe, but even...
I mean, yeah, he has a point there, but at the same time, it's the same logic as to how people didn't know that Luffy was Garp's grandson, even though they have the exact same name. Like, it's the same logic that Oda kind of applies. Let's say, you know how when certain characters in, let's say, Wano Country, they hid themselves, or let's say wearing that dumb mask over their face? It's kind of like that. It's like there's obvious things in the story where folks should understand, yeah, this guy is related to this X, Y, Z, and the other. But they don't. They never do. They never done that shit. So Oda does that a lot in the story for their different situations. But it's too... So what he wants is like too realistic for what Oda does.
If he was illiterate, why the fuck couldn't he see pictures in a newspaper? Did he never hear Sabo's name, even though apparently everyone knew about Sabo, who he was in the Revolutionary Army? And there was never anything in Ace's ear that was like, wait, Sabo, it's ringing a bell. My brother. It just doesn't compute, and especially the timing makes it even more fishy, where it feels like the sole reason behind Sabo's presence in the story is that he was drummed up, conjured as a replacement to Ace. He just happens to come through after Ace's death. He also gets Ace's devil fruit. It really feels like Sabo's entire purpose was just to be a Ace replacement.
I'm assuming One Piece covered the ASL because they're true to the manga, right? So he should know about the whole ASL stuff as well. The flashback and how Sabo supposedly died at the hands of like a dragon, back to a saved by a dragon. All kind of shit.
And the way Sabo even is used in the story itself.
No, I agree. I agree with you for sure that Oda did regret killing. Okay, I think, what was it? It was it Oda or an editor that told him to kill off Ace? Someone said to kill, no. I think Oda said before that he had always intended to kill Ace off, but I think the way it was done, that was the editor or some of that shit. Oh, the editor said not to? Oh, okay. I remember an editor interviewing on some big decision too. But okay. Sabo wasn't publicly known until after the 8 Nation Revolution. Well, I mean, the idea is that because, okay, look, like at Marine Ford, Monkey D. Dragon's name is like known to like the entire world. Like people fear Dragon. Like his name like spreads fear and chaos. Like even Akainu went ballistic, or he really focused on Luffy when he found that Luffy was Dragon's son, right? Like Dragon's name seemed to be like on the same level as like even fucking Rogers. It was crazy. But if that's the case, how do you not know then Sabo, right? I don't know how the Rev were structured in terms of the power system back then. Ivankov is known, that's for sure. I don't know about Sabo though, because I know Sabo. I mean, Sabo was the number 2 according to the post time skip. I don't know if that was the case in the pre-time skip. I know Eva was definitely well known, but I don't know about anybody else. So it's like knowing Kaido without knowing King or Queen, in a way, right? Yeah. Or let's say, well, with Roger maybe not, but let's say Big Moms. Like you know about Katakuri or Smoothie or Cracker, or you don't know, let's say about Lucky Roo or Yasop or Ben Beckman from Shanks' crew. So yeah, I can understand that. But again, there's a certain like logic where Oda does suspend that logic for a lot of different moments and characters. He does it constantly.
Is very odd. He's kind of here as like this all-powerful, damn near omniscient presence who can do everything and is used exclusively for like these fake out moments. So like he goes to the world government and like the 5 elders attack him. He might be dead, but he's not dead. He's on an island. The island gets blown up. Sabo might be dead. He's not dead. It's like, it's very weird. Sabo as a character just doesn't really fit with the rest of the characters One Piece introduces. And it just feels like the way in which he is put into this story feels very forced and very out of left field. Now, not to be confused with me being a Sabo hater, I don't even really dislike him or anything. It just feels very odd how he gets into this story in the first place and the way in which he is used in the story. But his scenes are hype. Like, it is a cool sequence when he, like, tries to save Cobra and everything. Like, it is cool to watch, but I just don't think it makes a whole lot of sense how we even got to that point with Sabo in the first place is all.
Okay, but fair enough. I mean, that's fair. Again, like,
with
Sabo is still a character that's like controversial. That's obvious. So it's just that, again, because he's like the discount. He's Ace 2.0 essentially. I won't say discount because I think he's actually better than Ace. I'm not gonna lie to you. But at the same time, I honestly think that Sabo is an issue per se. It's that I think he's kind of the issue is between I think the pre and post time skips where we don't really get Revolutionary Army shit at all in the pre-time skip, even though it feels like we should have gotten a lot more, which makes it weird as to why they're so effective across the entire world, even though there's no signs of them. And so that's like more of like an org issue per se, where it feels like the orgs are like, it's kind of like bounty hunters in a little bit, but like, you know, with Rev, it's more distinct. But we do know that like, they're working behind the scenes more often than not, which is why you have Cypher Pole on the case with them, not the Marines. So you could argue that in the same way that several agents aren't necessarily known like that across the entire world, then maybe the same thing here. Well, like they are known, but they're not like, how do you say? They're not like wanted poster famous cats. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the same thing could apply to Rev, even Sabo back then. But you have to just kind of assume these things. I disagree. Sabo has an entirely different role than Ace would have if he was been alive. I think they kind of share some role or the idea of a role. So I feel like with Ace's role, in some sense, he was the Aniki that was also there to like back up and protect Luffy too in a roundabout sense as well, right? But Sabo doesn't make any sense at that point in time. Sabo, he's not like Luffy's him right now, so it doesn't make any sense. It's like I think their roles are kind of, they have some similarities in the role, some similarities, but not entirely. That's for sure. Sabo is way more like Age of Chaos compared to, let's say, Ace was. Sabo was accused of killing Cobra, but he's pushed through that shit like nobody's business. So what the fuck? So
Sabo, and I do think that he is an interesting character. Anyway, though, let's now dive into Egghead. So when I was first watching Egghead, I was a pretty vocal Scrooge on it. I didn't really love the first half of the Egghead arc. The second half, however, significantly better and much more invested. I think the second half of Egghead has been really, really, really good. First half, bit of a snoozer. But I do think it was necessary to eat your vegetables first here in this case because it does help lay the foundation and build the stakes for what comes in the second half. But yeah, I really was not liking the first half of Egghead. I really didn't like the Seraphim, by the way. I didn't think that they were a strong addition to the One Piece story. Vegapunk.
The Seraphim are kind of questionable. I won't deny that. Because I remember when the Seraphim first pulled up, then the question became, hold on now. The Seraphim are here. What about, let's say, things like having clones of Whitebeard, because Whitebeard died, and maybe there's a part of his DNA somewhere in the battlefield. Or let's say, what about having a clone of Goldie Roger, because you guys killed him. You know, his body should be there somewhere Marine Ford, right? Or like there's somewhere that you guys have access to it. Why not have a clone of Goldie Roger? Or a clone of, like the idea of clones became way more prevalent. I think in terms of like, people's expectations, they kind of got out of proportion with the whole cloning everybody. Yeah, Zebek tried that, right? Like clone everybody into infinitum. Like, no. It became a little bit too tedious or too blown out of proportion, for sure.
Love Vegapunk. I love everything with Stella. I think that is so good. And I really think I can't remember if I've been doing spoilers when going through my One Piece journey. I think for the most part I have been, because a lot of the arcs that I've been covering are like fucking 15 years old. But I don't know if I should do spoilers for Egghead since it's still fresh. I'll try and I'm gonna have to get into
Raw Seraphim is crazy, bro.
Spoilers. There's no way I can talk about some of the things I didn't like about it without getting into spoilers. Let's start with the things that I really liked. Kuma's backstory. My oh my, did they hit a grand slam with Kuma's backstory?
True. That show's fire.
That is probably the peak flashback. I don't want to use the word arc because it's not a flashback arc, but peak emotional character backstory so far in the show. I thought they really crushed Kuma's story. It is tragic from top to bottom. And his whole existence in the show is just agony. And even where he is...
It depends on how they do Zebek, honestly. Shoot. If they do it, and they'll probably do it well because it's going to be the new way of doing the anime now. It's going to be seasonal. At the same time, though, I feel like Zebek, if he's a one-pace guy, he's not... he shouldn't be anymore. Okay? This fucker should not be a one-piece guy anymore. Because what they need to do for the anime is add a fuck ton of content. They need to add a fuck ton of content. At least they should add a fuck ton of content to the anime for the God Valley flashback. They just have to. They have to add a lot of content for God Valley. Because God Valley is a fucking blitzkrieg, dude. We oh my God. For all, I think we're into like 4 chapters in God, or like 5 max, some shit like that. We spent so little time in God Valley. It was insane. It was fucking net. It was nuts. And if you just watch One Piece, then he's getting the manga edition of God Valley. Oh. So, shit. I think, honest to God, like at least half of God Valley in the anime should be added content. At least half. Half. In terms of what character is doing what, where are they located specifically, in terms of showing off a lot of fights, coordination or discoordination, disharmony, in terms of showing off the other characters that were established, but we don't see them at all, do shit at all. There are so many different things that the anime should add without question. So will they actually do it? We'll have to wait and find out. 1. And then 2, will they actually watch that version, or will they watch One Piece?
Ends up in Egghead here, there's nothing happy about it. For a character that himself is so positive, despite everything he went through as a child with his parents and himself being enslaved and them being killed in front of him, with his father being murdered in front of him, still trying to find the light and still
very little
hope of that legendary hero that will come to save them, and then trying to make a difference with the revolutionary.
You say add filler. I say add enhanced filler, okay? Like what we saw War and Country, where obviously some things aren't there. Like you don't see Luffy going upside down, grabbing the fucking clouds, and then throwing lightning bolts at Kaido. That's not happening in the manga. But it's vastly superior than the anime. It's like, damn. You know what? Damn. he watched One Piece, which is true to the fucking manga. Ooh, damn. I wonder how his Wano Country experience was. Because half the shit they did is added, my boy. And that, oh my God, it's goated. I mean, I wonder, I wonder what the hell they removed from the Zoro versus King the Wildfire, or the Sanji versus Queen, or the or the Kaido versus Luffy fights. I wonder how much they actually like remove. Have you checked out the website? I mean, I have like a while ago, but I never had any need to. I mean, I'm a One Piece savant. Chad. There is no need for me to drag my knowledgeable brain for One Piece and those dreadful sights and those dregs. Ugh, disgusting. My palate is only adapted to the finest of One Piece cuisines. That's me. I don't need to go on One Piece, but yeah, I've been there before. I've been in the ghettos, in the slums, in the projects, and I'm okay. All right, I like my suburbs. They're pretty good. So yeah, I like my penthouse. I like it. So I never had a need for it.
Army and saving people, and then himself still being dealt such a bad hand. There's always fingers crossed, hoping something finally goes Kuma's way, but it never does. Even when he's raising Bonnie, she's
yeah, I think a lot of episode 10, 15 is added content. Though not all of it though, of course not. Like actually, maybe not most, but like imagine the buildup of like, you know, when you have Luffy before he punches Kaido. You have the scores of all these characters, all these moments coming in, coming out, like leading up to what's happening here, going through Zou, Dressrosa, Whole Cake Island, and so on and so forth, right? One Piece just called that shit out. They called that shit out and said, fuck it, right to the punch. Damn, son. If they're true to the manga, they really skipped like the best fight sequence between Luffy versus Kaido in episode 1074. Damn, they actually skipped that shit, bro. Okay.
He's gonna die if he doesn't give over his humanity to the world government, to Vegapunk, to turn into this soulless killing machine.
If they're true to the manga, that's what they'll do.
Pacifista program, all based around him, a weapon for the government. And
right.
He does it out of love for his daughter. But to save her, he had to abandon her. And then she went on her own pirate journey quest. Now she's gotten the truth, wants revenge on the 5 elders who are overseeing the program, in particular, Saturn. And Saturn becomes like our main big bad of the arc. And I think he's a really good villain. And he's not alone. There are other villains there like Rob Lucci and Kaku, whom I do think they're good villains, but I didn't like the flip-flopping so many times there. I think that was a little overdone. I get why it's there. Stussy also being there. Her role was very cool. That was quite the plot twist reveal there with her role and everything. But even though I like Rob Lucci and Kaku, like their presence there, the amount of flip-flopping I think was just a bit excessive. But in addition to their presence being there, there's also Kizaru. And Kizaru is a very interesting villain, because prior to this, we'd always seen him as just like this callous, uncaring, cold bad guy. Like, do I need to kill them?
Alleged big business.
I suppose it would be stimulating. I am a little bored. Here I go, reluctantly killing
the fence sitter, Kizaru,
for the sake of the government. And that's all you ever really got. So you're under the impression that he's just like this guy who will do pretty much everything and he won't feel anything. Just basically a heartless bad guy.
Okay.
Well, here we get a lot more fleshing out the backstory. Okay. It turns out he is actually somewhat intertwined deeply with Bonnie, Kuma, Vegapunk. So when he is tasked by Saturn to kill Vegapunk and Bonnie, he really doesn't want to. You can start to see emotion in this character. When he does ultimately kill Vegapunk, he is anything but happy. And it feels like there's almost this sense of relief when Luffy is able to actually overpower him. And he makes like the treasonous decision to feed Luffy.
Did he catch that like the first time watching that shit? Like, did he know that Kizaru had Luffy off the gate when the food came in? Yeah, but I think he actually found that, or someone told him. Maybe it's possible.
When
Yeah,
Luffy was, out of energy, out of power, so that we can continue to fight against Saint Saturn. So we got a lot more out of him, and I thought it was really interesting. And I'm so curious to see what his motivations are. Like what does he want? What is his goal? What is he doing? It's so good the way a lot of these things were built up and how they were executed here so far.
Okay, yeah. So okay,
this is also the arc in which we get.
He is pretty. I mean, I guess shockingly enough, because it is One Piece, but he is. Again, if they're true to the manga, then it makes sense as to why, because he has a good understanding of the events of things so far. He has good understanding. I won't deny that. I don't know if he's like hella theory brain and he's diving deep into like the actual like minutia of the story like that, but he does have a good sense of characters and the motivations and their role in the story, essentially.
The most exposition.
Yeah, he doesn't. Char doesn't hate Luffy early on. You mean?
Position on the Void Century and filling in the blanks for everything that's been happening that has been a mystery to this point, like with the poneglyphs, Joy Boy.
Yep.
Vegapunk gives a final message to the entire world, revealing so much information, much to the chagrin of the Five Elders, whom show up at Egghead to try and put the kibosh on the broadcast and shut everything down because they can't have these secrets getting out about what's happened in the past. It's just really satisfying now because it feels like we're finally starting to see the big picture. We're
also, I've not watched the Penguin Zero video this long in a really long time, bro. Like 50. Normally I watch his content. Not to say he's not, because he makes good content. It's that for me personally, I tend to watch other content creators. So, but hey, One Piece, I'll saddle up.
Starting to get these breadcrumbs to follow for what it all means and what actually happened 800-900 years ago. Who is Joy Boy and everything? Who are the Five Elders?
For sure. Yeah,
like,
I'm here
for it. All of this.
Because I feel like for One Piece, One Piece is a story that again, he did through one pace. So, but either way, I don't approve of that. But I mean, I'm not the fucking goddamn arbiter of this man's journey through the story. So it is what is there. But One Piece is a story that gives you a lot of different options as to how you can tackle the story, and you can still enjoy it through different ways. A lot of folks, they enjoy the story through power scale and through the fights. Other people, they enjoy it through the characters and their motivations. Other people, they enjoy it because of the world building and the history and the legacy, right? Like, there's different ways to enjoy the story. The owners can orchestrate it in pretty good ways. So I just want to see like how you actually perceive it. And I think for the most part, for him, it's about like history and it's about the characters. The fights are like third or fourth on the list.
Like, it's hard to not like wait on bated breath for the next episode and the next big reveal. Oh, also, one of my earlier complaints with this show, like the whole series, is that there was always this hesitation to kill someone, even if their role in it had been finished, like their whole arc, like a Arlong or someone.
I don't think he's ready for this chat.
Like, pretty much a villain who served their purpose that I don't think we'll ever see again. The show still had a tendency to just like knock them out and move on. They fainted, and that's it. Never to be seen again. And they did that with like every character, not just villains, but like any character I thought that they were setting up for a death, didn't die, most notably like Pell, like so long ago. And I get with Pell, there was a lot of stuff going on at the time there
9/11.
with Pell, which maybe led for him not ultimately facing a demise there. I get that, but that's just another example that I'm pulling from. There are countless others of characters that I thought should have died there to amplify the emotional stakes of what was being built to. With Egghead, though, no longer does it feel like there is a hesitation to kill off characters. There is a lot of character deaths in here that I didn't expect, that I didn't see coming, that are important characters. So it really does feel like we're reaching the end game here. I just wanted to make a mention of that. No longer is that like a complaint I have with recent One Piece. They are like actively killing characters. Like it feels like it's getting much more intense.
He'll make a video in January Okay, so I said before that One Piece had improved with this whole thing about killing characters and how it feels like we're in the end game. Yeah, I take that back. Egghead Island's actually fucking dog shit. And then he's gonna go from there. Cole, you could react to how do you think a Yonko became House of Animation? What? Huh? Cole, could you react to how do you think a Yonko? Maybe. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, yeah. Okay, I don't know why I ended there. Happens. I'm sorry. Cole, could you react to how do you become a Yonko by House of Animation? You put it all in one damn sentence. Jesus Christ. I think it perfectly explains how the power of one power of a Yonko. I mean, I know what the fuck the power of Yonko is. I'm fully aware, but let me see. This video? Wait, this is 2 years ago. Okay, I'll think about it. Browser to this? I don't know. Because right now I'm feeling pretty fucking hungry and I may have to do other work, so I may have to stay where I was tomorrow.
One of my biggest complaints so far about Egghead, though, and it's not even in the first half, it actually is in the second half. Bringing all 5 elders here, I think just kind of made them seem weaker than they
My Rebels addiction has led me to way later hours than that.
are. So, I like Saint Saturn as a villain. I think he's a great villain. But him actually fighting Luffy, he looks like a bitch. And I get Luffy as, you know, the new Joy Boy is supposed to be absolutely fucking stomping this man. He's basically blue waffling all over Saint Saturn. True. It's not even really a contest. But Saint Saturn as a fighter is really underwhelming. He's basically like the Derek Zoolander of the One Piece universe. He has one move. He has one look. And it's just by throwing out his little spider legs, and that's it. He doesn't do anything besides that. Even when he's not fighting Luffy, and he's like going after the rest of the Straw Hat crew, he can't even like kill them because he's only using his spider legs and nothing else. And then he's like, oh.
He could have killed Chopper, but Oda forgot about the venom.
This is a waste of my fucking time. I'm just going to run. So he does. So he goes to the next thing. These insects, I won't bother with them. Like, it just makes him look like not a very terrifying presence. And when they brought the other 5 elders in there, the same phenomenon happened where, because now there's so many, they can't give a whole lot of focus to them. So instead, they all only do one thing. Warcry, I think, is the best example of that. That fucking goober is the equivalent to that goddamn Rick and Morty butter robot whose only purpose is to serve butter. All Warcry can do is go into boar form and charge.
That's Rick and Morty, another reference.
That is all they show him doing. All he does is just
well, he does spin around and have these blade tests, so he does do something, you know what I'm saying?
So like when the Giants arrive, which, by the way, super hype. I'm extremely excited that Elbaf is being brought into the mega mix here. Bragi Dory back in the fold now. It's
Chopper is not poisoning muse like my dick chat.
Very exciting that they're there. They're having a good time. They're super powerful. And Warcry, all he does is just charge and headbutt. That's it. It just makes him seem kind of lame. He's like an E Honda player in Street Fighter 6 just spamming that one headbutt special.
Respect E Honda, sir. Whoa, that's fucked up.
So like it just makes it feel like he's not really a threat. He only can do one thing and he's not even succeeding at it. Like he's not even doing a good job with headbutting.
He's semi-succeeded at it.
It's so underwhelming for these 5 elders whom we have this entire time been led to believe probably the most fearsome, terrifying creatures on the fucking face of that planet.
Some folks thought that. Some folks.
And yet here all 5 of them are just getting toyed with, really. Getting laughed at, getting blasted around. Like, they can't even stop a broadcast. Like, they can't even...
Yeah, because he's a boar. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, I am boar! He just runs down mid. Like, you had Jupiter trying to do the suck shit. Gandhi was doing a lot. He was running around doing speed horse type shit and cuts. Marcus Mars is firing all these flame breath. It's like, to me, like, I said before too. I've always said before that, listen, if you guys wanted to see 5 Kaidos, y'all tripping, bro. Yo, the memes were crazy. Nah, bro. Give me this picture real quick. Where's the? Yeah, there's if it's. It's like, wait a minute, bro. Like, hold up. Yeah, y'all think the elders are like this? Like this? Yeah? Because the 5 Kaidos just puts that shit into perspective. It's like, oh, wait, no. No, that's actually pretty fucking stupid. There's no way on God's green earth. There's no way across, I mean, fuck God's green earth. Every earth across space and time. There's no way this works out for Luffy. Ever, man. 5 of these dudes, like, if I hear on 5 times the base, nah, bro. Nah, get some Dragon Ball Z characters here, because this is not gonna work out. This is not, bro. You got 5 fucking goddamn Titan dragons. You got like some Cypher the Sky dragon niggas just all coalescing. A 5 Blast Breath Barrage. 5 Thieving Drunk Dragons. 5 Raime Hakes. 5 Raitoku Raime Hake. Nah, bro. Nah, that's too much, bro. And you just knew it. You knew, yeah, it was too much. There's no way. There's no fucking way. So the elders have their gimmick. They have the immortality factor shit, which, okay, fair enough, fine. But it's like 5 fucking Kaidos? Nah. Because I think people just didn't understand. Like, people to this day have a hard time understanding what the fuck it means to be an emperor. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, when Charlie mentions how, okay, well, these elders are coming in there. They're not really like doing necessarily much. They have like one gimmick and so on and so forth. Like they're not like that intimidating. At the same time, though, it's like the Straw Hats as a whole, even including Usopp, are at a level now where it's like, well, we're an Emperor's fucking crew. Like we're not bitches, right? Like the same way the Young Bucks pulled up to Big Mom and to Shanks and to Kaido when they first pulled up at the end of the pre-time skip, beginning post-time skip, and they got throttled. They got dunked on, decimated. That's got to be Luffy now and his boys. Like, Young Bucks pull up, okay, bet. You're throttled. I know your role. Yes, Usopp. Jesus Christ, Jen. Hey, y'all be fucking hating. So, it's like, as the story goes on, as more powerful the crew becomes, the threats that they have to deal with have to be on a much higher scale. And the elders, I thought, just weren't on that scale. Keep it a stack. But yeah, it is. That's what, I think, at least. Like,
find the transponder snail and destroy enough things to stop it. Granted, they have to be a little careful with the mother flame. I get that. But they just don't look as strong as we've been led to believe. Because now all...
Who, though? Like, who? Again, for me, it was a debate about if they were even as strong as admirals. That's been a debate in my mind for a minute now. So who?
5 of them were here, still basically getting embarrassed. Like, so far, there hasn't been a moment where I'm actually concerned about a character because of the 5 elders' presence.
Charlie is right? Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. See, now I'm very curious. Where or what moment or what exactly made people believe that these elders were, let's say, as strong as fucking admirals, let alone Yonko, my dude? Like, I'm keeping a stack with you guys. After Luffy beat Kaido, to be fair, I don't think even now on Elbaf could Monkey D beat Kaido 1v1. But he's getting up there. He's getting closer to Kaido's level for sure. But, brother, I mean, They run shit. I don't give a flying. Huh? Back in the day, to be fair, I don't know if Charlie got this One Piece. I'm assuming he did. Actually, no, it's in the manga, so let's just said it. Back in the day, it's told us that the admirals are the greatest military asset that the royal government have. Now, to be fair, they have the Seraphim and Pacifistas and things like that for the fine. And now they have the thing that's for Lucia Kingdom for the fine. But in terms of like the level of power, for me, it was always a question about the admirals. Where are these elders as good as admirals? That was always the fucking question, right? That was always the question. All right? But the emperors of the sea were a whole different breed. Like, think about it, right? Because it was in the manga too. Remember the moment when Luffy goes Gear 5 for the first time? And then there's that line by Saturn where Saturn says, so we X, Y, and Z and the other. Yeah, so we lost some of our top agents in Guernica, and we made Kaido mad. Was it really worth it? Wrap it up. The moment he said, and we made Kaido mad, back it up. The fact that the elders at that point in time were considering the idea that making Kaido mad was a really bad idea, that just already put them on a lower level than the Yonko. Because yeah, it's over. There's just no way. There's no way. Like, Kaido really is him. So is Whitebeard. So is Big Mom. And then by proxy now, Buggy's one thing because he has Miyaki, he has Crocodile, duh. But Luffy, Shanks, Blackbeard, they're them. They're them. And I guess for me personally, I just never really ever saw them being on even close to that level. No offense. No offense to the elder fanboys out there. All right, no offense. But I never saw them never. It was always, are they on the same tier as the admirals? That's the question. That was always the question. Always. A question. Never mind that they couldn't even take care of that's Whitebeard pulled up to Marineford and look what they need to do to take him down. Mind you, nigga had a heart attack in the middle of the battlefield, right? And then that changed the tide of the war, essentially speaking. So you can say, oh yeah, well they didn't go out and so on. But at the same time, you can't deny that Whitebeard was like the strongest dude there. That's just fucking easy. That's easy. He was the strongest nigga there, well, for sure. At his old age. The current system of power in the world One Piece has always been the Marines and the Warlords, I guess now the Seraphim, equal the Emperors. The Emperors of the Sea. It wasn't a three-way triangle. It was 2 equals 1. That's how it's been. Either way, that being said.
They're just not good at doing anything they aim to do here. I think it would have just been far stronger if it was only Saint Saturn who was up against everyone, the Giants, Luffy, the Straw Hat Crew, all while trying to stop Vegapunk's desperate broadcast to the rest of the world to get the truth out there. And Saint Saturn against all these odds is still making it a close fight. That, I think, would have been a really strong showcase for the 5 elders and how scary they
but that's Kaido.
Can be, that one of them is able to go against all the strongest in the universe there. But the fact that all 5 show up and still can't succeed, it makes it seem like, well, Luffy will probably end up just
Can God not touch Yonko? No.
Fucking dog walking them at some point.
Well, actual Yonko, not Buggy, but like actual heavies, no.
Like it does.
Like every God Knight, I think, is losing to every Yonko. Outside of Buggy.
Doesn't really feel like they're as terrifyingly powerful as I thought they were now. Whereas again, if it was just Saturn there, I'd be left thinking like, damn, this is just one of them able to, do so much across all of Egghead here. I can't even imagine what'll happen when the other 4 get involved. But now I don't have to imagine. I know what happens when the other 4 get involved. Still fucking nothing. They still can't. Sure,
yeah, Shamrock doesn't owe the glitz for sure, but I don't think he's I don't think he's on the same level as Shanks or Blackbeard. Maybe Luffy, but I have my doubts.
Like, kill even like a giant or anything. They can't stop a broadcast. They can't do shit. Like, it just makes it feel like the five elders are just kind of weak. That's just like my main complaint so far with Egghead. It kind of took a lot of the oomph out of the five elders. Anyway, though, that's really like my only major complaint with the second half of Egghead. Like I said, didn't love the first half, but
yeah, like if you felt like the elders were, you know, this. If you felt like the five elders were this, okay, I can understand why you felt like the elders were like, you know, they got the winds taken from their sails pretty sharply on Egghead Island. Fair enough, fine. Fair enough, fine. I never felt that, personally speaking. I never did. I felt like the elders were like, no, bro. Like I made a video. Find it. I made a video a while back talking about, where's my shit at? Damn, it's not here? What? Okay, King Lightning. Damn. I need to use SEO term more often. Yeah, right here, 2 years ago. I said, like, yo, listen, what if all five elders fought a Yonko like Shanks? And I said, bro, listen, Shanks got this. Because right now I have a copyright strike on my channel, so I'm wondering if that's why I'm getting shadow banned a little bit. I don't know. It's possible. Either way, I said, yeah, like, what if I have the fucking gloves on? What if you had Shanks fight against all five elders? I told you, like, yo, Shanks is winning. He's fucking winning. He's fucking winning this shit. He's absolutely guaranteed gonna win this shit. And lo and behold, I think people have come to realize that, oh, fuck, maybe he is gonna win this shit. Because we saw, let's say, Joe Boy's hockey, what happened there. We know Kaido, they were afraid of Kaido's ass. Big Mom is the big bitch equal to Kaido, so what the fuck? Hello? And then Monkey, this is Luffy, was putting on a show. He's putting on a show. I think Kaido Big Mom have that too. I'll give you a sec. I think Kaido Big Mom have that too. And probably Blackbeard as well right now, though I have to say.
Maybe it just wasn't my cup of tea. There's really nothing in there in particular I think was bad. Even like with the five elders, I don't think it's bad. It's just, I don't know, it felt a little underwhelming given how much had been built up about them is all. But overall, I think it's a very strong arc, and I'm really, really happy that I caught up to One Piece and I get to enjoy this in real time now as we're entering, like, you know, the end of this legendary series. I think it's a masterpiece. I will say, though, I don't expect anyone to follow suit and, like, force themselves to watch 300 episodes if they're not enjoying it. I think it's totally fine if you just don't like One Piece after X amount of episodes to just say it's not for you and be done with it. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. I probably would have done the same thing if it wasn't for me being so spiteful. Like, I probably wouldn't have pushed through as hard as I did, and then I did actually fall in love with it.
Yeah, that's fair. Because to me, I feel like One Piece actually gets pretty damn good in Baratie. I feel like that's where it gets like really, really, really good. Baratie, and then Nami's Village, the All-On Park, and then I think that's what gets like really fucking like outstanding. But if it's not for you, then fair enough, fine. That's what I say. Is like if you don't like East Blue, then you probably won't like the rest of the story. That's my guess, at least. You probably will like certain arcs more in the future if you want to stomach through them. But I think, like, honestly, here's the thing. I feel like Skypiea is like a big, because there are people that are die One Piece fans that hate Skypiea. I think it's fucking goated. I think it's stupidly good. But it's not everyone's cup of tea for sure. If you don't like One Piece by Alabasta, they might not like it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So if you can't fuck with it for whatever reason, whether it be the pace or the character designs or the like whatever it is, then fair enough, fine. To each their own, right? Yeah, brother. There are so many different things I want to do for One Piece right now. Now, Water 7 is definitely a level up in the story. Fair. But yeah, well, I mean, it's when the story stops its formulaic island shit where, well, they do it, but now the crew's been separated, where now you have a trade amongst the crew with Robin, who joined in. She seemed to be like good to go, and then now you have to follow her on the train to Annie's lobby, and now the villains are multi-island villains, where it's like, okay, we have to go from Water 7 to Sky P and deal with that shit through those methods, right? And then in terms of the character, it's very, very, very character driven. Also does some good world building stuff too. So I think in a general sense, you know, I get what he's coming out here for sure though. If you don't like the story by like the end of Alabasta, like not like if you think it's bad, but if you just don't like it at all, then fair enough, fine. But like if you do like things about it, then I'll still, but like you're not going crazy over it, I'll say for sure stay with it. Stay with it. War 7 to Skypiea, I think Alabasta is like the real cutoff test, where if you dug Alabasta, then you may not like One Piece. Water 7 is a for sure major change up, but in order to get to Water 7, you have to go through Skypiea. And I think if you don't like Alabasta, then you probably won't like Skypiea.
Not Stockholm Syndrome, just an acquired taste. My taste buds got a little more refined is all, as the show got better. Anyway, I just wanted to give you this yearly update here, basically. Fully caught up. We fucking did it. That's really about it. So, yeah.
You know what's gonna be a problem too? Charlie is gonna probably be pretty pissed once the Vegapunk's deaths get the full sauce, when there's the full reveal about how, oh well, actually, you know, we're Vegapunks, and you know what death means to us doesn't mean the same thing to y'all, right? So that's gonna probably piss him off. I'm not gonna lie to you. A method existing is Franken. I agree. I think Franken should take that, or at least the Vega 4 shit, and then use that somewhere. I don't know how, but I think that's what it's gonna be. Next episode, yeah. May do a addendum to the yearly update next week, boys. That's what we may do. Woo-hoo. Okay. All right. But that was overall a good video. I haven't watched a video like this from Penguin Z in a minute, but that was a good video. That was a good video. And honestly, I like it too because it was very simplistic. Like this kind of form, I'm kind of bringing back myself, where I have videos that are deeper dives that I have editing, but at the same time, I also have like these videos I'm doing like the cold lights where like, you know, I just kind of yap and talk, you know, over some footage. That's really it. And so I fuck with that. I think people like it too. All right, either way. And also I get my shit out there too, like pretty quickly as well. And it's more diverse too. All right. So on that note, what do we have? We have to watch this thing called what now? How do you become a Yonko? Let me see this shit.
Pirates out there as there are stars in the sky. But that redhead's one of the
Clap pirates? Yeah, I'll be down because like I do collabs on the reaction channel, but I mean the Requiem channel.
Powerful as that, and they rule over the second half of the Grand Line like
Fuck.
kings. They're the 4 emperors.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's
I'm about to say, is that Garb?
your boy Reggie here, back with you for another video. Welcome back to the House of Animation, where we have discussions and reviews about your favorite anime and cartoons. Now, in the One Piece anime, the Wano arc is finally coming to an end. And to me, the Wano arc does one thing especially well. It is a masterclass of showing just how terrifying the Yonko are. It's only been a day in the anime, but in real life, it's been years of these guys fighting Big Mom and Kaido. And episode after episode, moment after moment, it just really shows to me how terrifying the Yonko are. So I wanted to do a quick video today explaining really how to become a Yonko, what makes a Yonko, and why certain characters who...
Okay, I have a video that's on I have a video on the same subject too. Mine's like a lot longer though, so maybe that's what people don't, you know. I think his dog won't know like 9 minutes, but you become a Yonko by like 4 major qualifiers. One is prestige. The other one is power. After power is territory. And after territory is there's a 4th one too. Manpower. Those are the 4 criteria for being an Emperor of the Sea. Those are the 4 criteria. All right. You need to have a military force. You need to have you need to have a certain level of power. You need to have enough prestige, notoriety across the world, and then you need to have territory. Those 4. So let's see, because Let's see what he gets out here.
who may be as strong as Yonko aren't considered them at all. But before we do that, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you like this type of content. And without any further ado, let's drop the intro.
I need Schwartz again on my channel because I need to bring him back because do
So
stuff
to
like
start
this.
off, I believe I've identified 4 key traits that make someone a Yonko in the One Piece world. Those 4 traits are your captain's strength, your allies, your influence, and your territories.
I can't search up the video, but I remember the thumbnail. It's not here. I remember the thumbnail. The strongest One Piece. That's the exact same shit that I have for my video. Though I can't fucking find it, dude. I know it's there. They give like 50 Yonko videos. True. True. I won't deny that. But it's like bar for bar. Like, I mean, I know what he's gonna say before he even says it. Honestly, yeah. I mean, I think I'm good. I mean, I think I know his video because his video is my video. Like, honestly, can I find my video? No, but it's there. I think the video. Actually, I think the video is me. It's like it's Luffy in front of the Emperors or some shit like that. That video is it's an old video for sure. That I think it's like pre 2018. So I won't complain too much, but it's what I've been saying about the Emperors for a very, very, very long time. But yeah, I mean, since I called it, I think I'm gonna leave it at that because I know what he's gonna say, like bar for bar. No. This was like pre 2018. Let me see here. Can I go by month this year? No. Let me go last year. The channel playlist. Let me go over here. Subtitle. Upload date. Can I go in reverse? Oh. Let's go to view count. Okay, I can't find it. But it's on my channel for sure. It's an old video. I think I did it in 2016, something like that. Old video. You have to search bar. Probably. I won't do it right now, but it is there. I mean, that's us able to call this guy's immediate 4 criteria, like immediately, because that's what I said a long time ago. Okay. The idea is simple though. Like, maybe I should bring back my old video concepts that I've talked about before and then make shorts out of them so they're like reintegrated into lexicon. Because it's like I feel like ideas that were constant that are maybe be reutilized for shorts, and then I can just make some moolah baby or some views over those. But okay, I mean, I get what he's saying here. I'll give him a thumbs up just by default. But I mean, because I'm assuming he found it on his own. He thought about it on his own. That's my assumption. That's my assumption. I'm going to assume he thought about it on his own. But that's the idea. Yes, you have 4 criteria to be an Emperor of the Sea. Fuck. Actually, let me see if I can find the video. Hold on. I need this chat. Give me a second. My man said Carlos Mencia is some crazy activity. Oh, maybe I didn't say Yonko, but I said Emperor. Yeah, okay. This that video, bro. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I found it. In the latest chapter of One Piece WA, the following is stated, but more important, 7 years ago, Jack, more than the start of this meeting is the news that has grabbed the attention of the whole world. Big Mom, the emperor whose position has 7 years ago. In this video, what does it mean to be an emperor of the sea? Luffy, new bounty, and future gains. One Piece discussion. Yo, this is when I had long titles decades, too. He was able to plan his 5th emperor of the children of all ages. What makes an emperor of the sea? What is an emperor of the sea? Yonko, goddamn, son. In this chapter, I don't age. Oh, thank you, Chad. Big news, fake news, old news, real news, whatever news you want to call them as. Big News Morgans, in this paper, has proclaimed that Luffy, 2 hours ago, just rose over 5,000 men. And of course, the revolutionary men. And on top of it, out recently, because of the sea, after agree in combat. Of course, details not there, obviously. But nonetheless, beat them. Monk, 500 million to 1.5 of the sea. Big leaps. So shouts to him. Himself from the rest of the crew. Just how you can say Kaido is so farther ahead. Chicken. Big News Morgans is just one living entity. 0.5 billion. Luffy, okay, I'm trying to find the more I say this shit, but shocked me. I'll be real with you. Shocked me. Finally, in combat, fleet of over 5,000. Finding out recently, because it happened all as Big News Morgans in this page. On top of that, finding fuck. When do I say this shit? Jesus Christ. Okay, you know, whatever. Either way, look, it's in the video. Okay, it's in this video. I say this. I say the same idea. I break it down the exact same way. Territories, physical power, prestige, and armies. That's what it is. Okay. You should watch your favorite. I don't need to. Why? Why should I rewatch my fairy tale rants? I kind of want to, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. Bro, a new emperor or not? Dude, this is what I said before, that like Luffy wasn't the 5th emperor that Morgan said. Yeah, I remember this now. This is actually at the end of This is at the end of Whole Cake Island, where Luffy was proclaimed to be the 5th emperor of the sea. And then I said he was not. And I said because he was missing 2 of those categories, where Luffy had the prestige and he had the manpower, but he didn't have the territories, nor did he have his physical powers up there. So he lacked 2 of the 4 categories to be an Emperor of the Sea. So yeah, it's in that video right there that I did 7 years ago, before, or was it 8 years ago? 7 years ago, before Wano Country. All right, it was at the end of Whole Cake Island. Boom. So that's what it is right there. That's a long time ago. Jesus. And my fucking views were so much better back then too. What happened? No. I need to work on my videos. Should I bring out these long titles, chat? Maybe I should. What does it mean to be a member of the sea? Luffy's new bounty and future gains. Oh, maybe I should bring out these. Maybe I should bring out these old ass long titles. They were kind of fun though. Okay, but they don't feel like YouTube friendly now. Like YouTube has changed so much that I don't know if these titles even work anymore because they're just so fucking long. Ah, yes. More. I've been trying to branch out, but it's gonna take some time to actually like really get to get the channel reacclimated properly when I'm branching out again. You know.